several psychology classes on it and read really good research-based books on it, and conflict is going to happen. There's not really a relationship where you're always going to agree on everything, that no one will ever accidentally say the wrong thing. There's no relationship that will not eventually have something that you have to communicate. So communication is key, and it's something you have to learn if you want to have stable relationships. So that's important to know. Enjoyable Torture asks, what kinds of music do you like, and what is my favorite current song, or my current favorite song? So I like bits and pieces of different things. I like a lot of pop. I like some alternative rock. There's some rap that I like, mostly Nicki Minaj. I like indie music, kind of folk music. I like kind of bits of lots of things. I do not like screaming songs. I just can't get into it. And I don't particularly like country, but it's not like I would be miserable if that's what someone liked to listen to. So, and my favorite current song is probably Tag You're It off the Crybaby album by Melanie Martinez. Somebody asks a bit later what my favorite song from Crybaby is. That person is Camila BC, so I answered your question in the same one. Danny Doze asks, what does Bobo even mean? Bobo is the nickname I have for my boyfriend, and this person said, I have some theories, but I don't think that Chris is a baboso. Baboso is a word in Spanish that basically means something like you're stupid. So it is not from that. It was kind of a silly thing where I'd be like baby, and then I would be like, Bebe, and then boba, and then eventually it went down to babo, and it kind of just stuck. So that's P-A-B-O, babo, not baboso. Millie Jones asks, has anyone ever caught you making a video or interrupted while you were filming one? No, because the people that I've lived with since I started making ASMR videos, whether it was Chris or previous roommates, they understood that ASMR is my job and it's essential that I'm able to make them with a quiet environment. So everyone, even the kind of rude roommates, were very accommodating, and they'll stay quiet and not be laughing or talking or playing music or even walking around or moving things. They'll just sit and be quiet until I'm done. So everyone has been aware, so there's no surprise or anything sitting up. Usually that is when I am going through videos that people have submitted to my ASMR website, which is asmruready.com, and we feature a video a day from lesser known YouTuber ASMRtist people. So I'll usually listen to the video while I type in the information for the site, and sometimes I'll play multiples, so that's when that happens. And if you make ASMR and you're less than like 70,000, you should submit to the site. There's a link in all my videos in the description. And well, when I'm going to sleep at night, it's on my phone lying down, so a bit of each. AFIQ 98001. Where are you currently studying, and what is your favorite food? I'm not gonna tell you the name of my college. Sorry. I'm not gonna do that. And my favorite food, it's probably chips. It probably is chips. Crazy J asks, what is your guilty pleasure besides ASMR? I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I don't believe in like feeling like you have to kind of hide or feel embarrassed about liking something. So, I don't know. I don't feel guilty about it. Like, if there are people who would judge me for watching or listening to or whatever, enjoying something, then I just like wouldn't want to be around that person. It's like, just do what you like and don't harm anyone. So there were a few people asking my guilty pleasure TV shows and everything, and I'm not gonna answer those because I just don't have an answer for you. I know that it's not really your favorite thing. It's more like what's something you enjoy that maybe you're embarrassed about or that people will judge you for. So it's more specific than just favorite. So I just didn't answer any of those. Sorry. Aaron Rank. Sorry if I mispronounced that. They said, if you could go back in time to right before you started making ASMR videos and give yourself any piece of advice about making ASMR, what would you tell yourself? I would probably tell myself that the people in the comments who say mean things don't define who I am, and that they don't have some sort of great insight into who I am. Someone who only knows a small fraction of me, who makes a judgment, is more to do with them than it is with me, and that I don't have to take it personally. I don't take it personally anymore, but it might have helped for younger me to know that. Guitar Gary asks, do you still play piano? So, a couple years ago, I took 2 semesters of piano. The first semester I really, really loved. I started to develop a kind of interest and maybe a passion in it, and I was doing very well. I had a very good teacher. My second semester, that teacher wasn't available. She only taught second semester at a very far away campus, so I took a different teacher that had good reviews, but she was not a good teacher. She sort of expected us to just instantly get things. She even said at some point that she's been playing for so long that she's forgotten what it's like to be a beginner, and that it was up to us to tell her what she needed to tell us. So, while my first teacher, we would practice with the headset on and everything on the electric ones, and then when it was time to play a piece that we should have all been practicing, and you're supposed to practice at home too, or at one of the pianos you can borrow, we played together, and if there was some mess ups and everything, she's like, okay, here's some things you guys should think about, and then we'd all so much for me. It turned into a chore. I hated it so much, and she was the only one to continue with, so I just said no, and I had to stop, unfortunately. So I do not still play piano. Sorry if I talked a little bit fast during that part. I was in the moment. Gordon Rawls asks, what is my favorite book or author? I'm one of those people that's like, I'll read something and be like, this is my new favorite thing, and then I'll forget about it for a while, and then I'll watch or read or listen to something else, and then I'll be like, this is my favorite thing. So sometimes I keep a list so I remember things that I've really enjoyed. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is there's this trilogy. I think it's the Skyscraper Throne trilogy by Tom Pollock, and I've read the first two, which are The City's Son and The Glass Republic, and there is a third one called The Lady of Our Streets, something like that, and it's been out for a little while, but the author is British. I'm not sure which country in Britain, but one of those. So it wasn't available in my country. I actually ordered the second one on Amazon from the UK area. So it's not available at my library, and so I haven't read it, and I want to so bad. They're so good. They're probably the best books I've ever read. They're so good. I would highly recommend them. I'll leave a Goodreads link. Dylan Patterson asks, is there really a top side? If you believe, then there is. Stardust Synchron asks, what is my favorite Pokemon? Probably Skitty for cuteness, and probably Golem for fighting. I'm one of those basic people who sticks with their original Pokemon team a lot. It's only in the last few times that I've played that I've started switching people out as I get them, but when it comes to Golem, he just continues to be the best in the category that I use him for. So, I don't know, for fighting, probably Golem. I'm so sorry, I'm so basic. Andreas Jose asks, if you could live in any fictional world, what would it be? Maybe Narnia, because, hear me out, the Harry Potter world is amazing, but just imagine how terrifying, like, someone could steal a hair from your brush, use a polyjuice potion, and then just use it to, like, use your body for weird things and, like, explore your body. Like, no, why? Just, like, other children can bully you by, like, making your body stiff as a board until you just fall over. Like, again, like, all of these things are horrifying, so it would not be worth it to me. And then Pokemon, like it started out with just animal type things, but there are Pokemon that are like gods and can just mess with the universe now. But even if you start with the basic ones, like really a wasp bee hornet thing that's like bigger than, like, huge, no way am I gonna live in a world with a hornet thing bigger than me. I won't do it. I won't. But Narnia has some magic and adventure, but besides, like, talking animals and stuff, it's relatively normal. So you can have your adventure with your magic included and the mystery of everything, but there's no giant hornets, and nobody is, like, torturing you. So that would be my pick. Rachel McCoy asks, what would you recommend for someone with anxiety other than ASMR, and what's the best way not to get overwhelmed by life? you said besides ASMR, I want to make sure that you've explored the mental health side of ASMR specifically. For example, I have ASMR videos that have very personal, relevant affirmations for common things that people feel about themselves when they experience depression, which I have a lot of experience with. So, I have some mental health videos in particular that also take into things I've learned in therapy, things I've learned in DBT classes, and stuff like that, that have some, psychological, therapeutic base to them, just to start off. Now, besides ASMR, I think that, honestly, a really great way is having people who understand you, so a support system, medication and therapy, or a DBT class, which are courses that teach you how to cope. If that's not the route you're looking for, then I would say, I don't know, even without the meds, I think that going to therapy and DBT might be really helpful for you. DBT stands for Dialectical Behavior Therapy. So, yeah, if that's something that interests you, that's the thing. And the second question was, what's the best way not to get overwhelmed by life? I think it's important to remember that what you're feeling right now isn't gonna last forever, and that your feelings, they're valid, and you're allowed to feel them, and you're allowed to express them and get help with them, and to be heard and understood. I think it's also important to remember that there's a difference between feeling something and thinking you can predict something. Feeling something is like, I feel sad, I feel stressed out, I feel frustrated, I feel scared. Those are feelings, and those are valid, and you need to take them seriously. But saying, I feel like I'll never be loved, or I feel like things will never get better, that's not the same thing. That's, even though it uses the word feel, it's not a feeling. It's kind of an irrational, illogical thought pattern that is going to lead you to having a lot more emotional distress. So remember that, even though it feels true, even though you do feel that way and you think that way, that doesn't mean that you can predict the future, and it doesn't mean that things aren't going to get better. And it's important to recognize that it really is. So remember, there's feelings, and then there are irrational predictions, and the idea that, things have been this way all the way up until now, and so they'll never get better. That also, it's not a logical way of thinking. You can't say, because it's not like a controlled experiment where you can predict what will happen every time. It's life, and life has so many variables. It has so many different things that go into it. With our experiences and our emotions, it's not the same thing. You can't say, it's been this way until now, so it won't get better. It can be true that you had a messed up childhood and a messed up adolescence and, the adulthood that you've experienced, but there are plenty of people who do come from that and then have better lives, and it's more common than you might think. So remember, there's feelings and then irrational predictions. So that's something. Right, so Wrecked Havoc asks what my favorite movies are. So I'm gonna try and do that. That'll be good. So if that foundation turns out successful, I'll probably marry it, and then I would kiss mascara and kill blush, I guess, because blush is, I don't know, it's not required for me. I kind of just put it on because I have it, so there you go. Noel Adrian asks, I'm trying to teach myself Spanish. Any tips? I would say if you can find a way to interact with a fluent person, whether it's a good teacher or a friend or someone that you can find on the internet where they can be in a teaching position or at least a helpful position, that would be incredibly helpful. Because whether you're learning in a class or with a program or some sort of thing, it helps to have someone who is comfortable with it in a very natural way and can point out the really small things that are really difficult to just kind of learn from a class. Like whenever something has the phrase like lo que something, I always end up skipping it in my head because it doesn't make the same sense in languages. So, and if you can't interact with someone who speaks it fluently, I would suggest watching Spanish ASMR. In particular, Hermetic Kitten makes really good Spanish videos, as well as French, Italian, and I think that's it. Maybe there's more, I'm not sure, but I particularly like her Spanish videos because she speaks very clearly and slowly enough that I can grasp it. So try to listen to native speakers either in person or on YouTube, and just vocab. Just learn so much vocab, because at some point you'll have the language foundation grasped, but you just don't know all of the words that you're hearing. So vocab, vocab, vocab. I don't know. Master Shake asks, burger or hot dog? Burgers. At some point, like in adulthood, a lot of foods just kind of stopped being appealing. One of them being hot dogs. I don't like any hot dogs. Recently, I tried a Costco hot dog, when I liked hot dogs, I considered them to be the best. Sorry, I was talking kind of fast. Yeah. And it was okay, but I didn't finish all of it because I just, as well as like yellow cheeses, I don't like mac and cheese anymore. I don't like cheddar cheese. I never liked Velveeta or nacho cheese. All fast food cheese sucks. But I like nicer cheeses, so that's good. So, burger. Scott McCulley asks, are you a fan of mixed martial arts? And if so, who's your favorite fighter, and would you ever consider being a fighter yourself? Sorry to disappoint, but I don't know anything about mixed martial arts. I don't know any fighters, and I probably will never be one. I'm sorry. Beat Tonight asks, would you rather have a month without your phone or a month without uploading videos? Well, seeing as like these videos are like, they're a passion of mine, but they're also how I pay my bills. So if I had a month without videos, I wouldn't have a phone either. So I'd probably just go without my phone. Yeah, that's why I'm on a no contract plan. Boost Mobile. Preston4 asks, if you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one ability or quality, what would it be? To already be completely fluent in Spanish and know everything. That's what I would want. It's so hard. less about one big event, but more like the combination of many similar events, and that has been helping people, whether it's having been able to talk with people personally about what they're going through, or just through my videos, whether they're mental health related or not. So I think that has been, there have been times where I just think about it and I'm like, everything that I've gone through has a purpose now. I can use my experiences to help other people who are going through similar or relatable things. So that's the best part. Dylan Garbanzo ASMR asks, where would your number one place to travel to be? I really want to visit Japan. I do want to visit pretty much most of Europe, but I think if I went on a really big trip where everything was settled, I would go to Japan first. Benjamin Martin asks, can we see both kitties now? Sure, I'll put footage right here. This is the cat and the other cat. Da-da-da-da-da. Cats. Just a Bit asks, do you do any post-processing on the audio? I do. I use Audacity and I run the noise remover on it, and then I have a custom filter for the equalization that Chris got done for me. Painstaking, but it works on the videos I make in this apartment, so yep. I also boost the sound as well before I do that, and then I do those things, so yeah. Where was I? Dick Burns, wow, asks, why are you so pretty, calming, and the most talented ASMR artist ever? A steady diet of ice cream and Doritos, probably. Who knows? Do you know? Let me know in the comments. There's not enough love on the left side, I'm so sorry. Ash Makeup Babby asks, what's your advice to being a happy and positive person? There's so much negativity in the world. I think that a big one is to recognize your strengths and your weaknesses and to accept both of them, and to look at your weaknesses not in a way that you just expect everyone to deal with them, but also not that you should avoid thinking about them and also not feeling bad about them, but to look at them and be able to work on it, to wonder how you can better yourself, always try to better yourself and to learn about yourself and be the healthiest that you can be mentally. And going along with that is having realistic expectations of yourself, of others, and of life. A big part of what creates stress and emotional agony and everything is having unrealistic expectations, like you must always succeed at everything quickly, or just succeed at all, that everyone must like you, or that, everyone must always be completely polite to you no matter what, or that you should never get lost while you're driving somewhere, that you should always know what you're doing. It's when you use things like should and never and things and always, when you hear yourself saying this isn't how it should be, this isn't what things should be like, this isn't how I should act or what how they should act, it's going to cause you an incredible amount of frustration in yourself and others. And it takes a situation that could be good or relatively okay and turn it into just frustrated, kind of hopeless, depressing situation, you will not always know what to do. You will not be good at everything that you want to try doing. Other people cannot know what you're thinking without you telling them. They love me so much that, if they really did, they would just know what I want and how I feel. It's unrealistic. There's no every single romantic relationship must work out or I'm worthless, stuff like that. It's an expectation that if you hold yourself to and other people too, you will find yourself in a very negative position. And it's really easy to go down that road, and I still do it sometimes. Everyone does. But it's something to think about. And the last answer to that question is listen to other people's experiences. Listen to people's experiences who are a different culture, a different race, a different gender, a different country, everything, different socioeconomic class. Just listen to other people genuinely and understand that they know how to describe their own experiences and they know what they're talking about, and that if you have never been that gender, that race, that anything, you cannot speak for them. You cannot tell people that what so many of them experience isn't real or valid. Listen to people with mental illness. Listen to people with disabilities. Listen to people who experience discrimination. Listen to other people and better yourself. There you go. Chance Shaffer asks, why did you love Spanish? Well, in my high school, you had to take 2 years of a language class, and they had French or Spanish. And being on this, the West Coast, I decided that Spanish was more practical, and I would have more opportunities to use it and to practice it than I would with French. So that's why I chose Spanish, and I just really connected with it at that point. I really enjoyed it. Christy Kaminsky asks, if you weren't making ASMR videos after finishing school, what would you ideally be pursuing? And I would probably, in a perfect world, I would be a family and marriage therapist, counselor. Young Clams asks, do you watch anime? And if you do, which ones do you like? I do watch anime. I was actually watching anime earlier because I was watching these vlogs of foreign exchange students going to Japan and looking through their high schools and everything, and I was like, wow, it's time to watch more anime. Some ones that I've liked are, and I'm probably gonna say these super American accent style, and I'm so sorry. Amagami SS, Aoharu Ride, Kiss Pure Rouge, and Bokura Gaita. And I'll link my animelist.net profile thing in the description. I will also post my last FM profile thing so you can see what I listen to, and my Goodreads account so you can see the stuff that I read. Also, Jonathan Hernandez also asked about anime, so I wanted to mention their name. Jorge4757S asks, what do you like most from Mexico? The food was really great, but I think the best part was having everything be in Spanish, so just driving down the road meant just vocab in context, and I just learned so much, so those were my favorite part. Nick Smith asks, what are your favorite TV shows? Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, Broad City, Orange is the New Black. The Office is pretty good. MORETZ asks, why did you take down so many of your early videos? And are you going to release a classic collages album? I don't know what you're talking about. I have not removed any videos from this channel. I think there's just been a couple. There was one that had copyrighted material in it. I was reading a book that has copyright in it. There was a video I took down because it was flagged, and I think that's all I took down. So, however, I don't know if maybe you were thinking of my vlog channel, Micey Lulu, where I privated most of my early videos from the first couple years because I had a lot of opinions and things to say that I no longer agree with. So I don't know if maybe you thought, if you were thinking of that. So I'm not gonna release those because I took them down for a reason. Joshua Bayar asks, approximately how many trees have you climbed? I don't know, like, most of the trees I climbed as a kid were, like, the same trees over and over again, so if we're talking about just individual trees and not counting repeats, then, I don't know, probably less than 10, to be honest, maybe more than 10. I don't remember a lot of my childhood. Marla Tucker asks, if you could live in an alternate universe or dimension, what would it be like? Well, people would embrace differences. It's like the whole Pokemon thing of like, instead of looking at what's different, you should look at what's the same. And I'm just like, or different doesn't have to be bad, and you don't have to just sort of tolerate and ignore differences between people. So I would want those things to be embraced, and that people, like, psychology is just like built into everything that we do, so people like learn how to cope and learn how to parent and learn how to be a like constructive, decent human being. So that possibly Karina asks, when is my birthday? My birthday is December 17th, 1991, which makes me 24 right now. Techno 2016 asks, are you a comic book nerd? I mean, probably I would not be considered one. No, I do enjoy the X-Men movies, and I kind of enjoyed the first Captain America movie. I really like the X-Men First Class movies and the Avengers Wolverine one, but those are movies about comic books and not comic books, so probably doesn't count. Sorry. Commenter D asks, what did you learn from your father? I learned how to invalidate and not trust everything that I think and feel about myself and other people, to the point where I had no idea who I even was and had incredible this is kind of difficult because there's not like any particular person that I look at them and I'm like, this will drive me to be a better person. Like, I can get inspiration when it comes to ASMR ideas or it comes to ways of thinking, but there's not like a particular person or event that has like led me through. Mostly it's a large combination of various people having various things to teach me in my life. Just kind of figuring things out on my own and learning. So it's my inspiration for life is just a lot of people, a lot of events, a lot of personal insight and realization. So yeah, Frosty Pooper, I guess. How long have you been doing ASMR? You know that you could like go look at my videos and then look at the earliest one and you could know that, but my first video for ASMR was posted June 6th, 2012, so almost 4 years ago. But I've been making YouTube videos that are not ASMR since 2008. COWW asks, do you believe that YouTube is a revolutionary idea that changed our lives forever? I absolutely think so, because people who would not have had a voice before are now able to have as equal amount of opportunity to spread their ideas and talk about their experiences and talk about the problems and the good parts of society, and people that would have been silenced and ignored and not given media attention, traditional media like radio, TV, movies. They're able to do something. They're able to make music. They're able to make movies. They're able to just vlog ASMR. We didn't have this before. Would you, if we wanted to reach this many people with ASMR, we would have had to convince a company to make a record of it, if we could even get them to take it seriously. So it's brilliant. Scott Henriksen asks, what is your favorite book, film, and TV show from your childhood? And okay, yes, that is a fair cop. That is essentially 3 questions in one. What you gonna do? Favorite book as a kid is The Great Good Thing by Roderick Townley. My favorite film might have been Titanic, or The Catch of Vampires, or Princess and the Goblin. Favorite TV show was probably Rugrats or Cat Dog, and in reference to what am I gonna do for you asking 3 questions in one, I'm gonna fight you. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun, and I hope that you enjoyed this and learned a lot about me. This is gonna